it's never really been resentment. I've never been like, hey, mom and dad, never let me go out. But I've always been like that.
Wait,
what?
why? Because that is so unbelievably crucial, especially in the next generation of kids that are coming up, not to be pointing fingers. So many kids do not figure, you have a great grip on psychology. I don't know why or how, but the way that you can just sit there and say man, I don't really hold a lot of resentment for them. You are not the norm. You are an outlier. If we bell curved people on that and they had that exact same story, the large, vast majority would hold all this resentment. And I would have been this if not for that. I would blah, blah. You don't have that at all. Why?
I'd say the main reason is it was actually a few years ago. It was when I was younger. I was kind of, my mind runs a lot. I think a lot. I'm thinking about a lot of different things at a lot of different times, which is maybe one of the reasons why I don't sleep that well usually, because my mind is always running. But I had the thought of my parents sacrifice everything for me. They will do anything for me that I really need them to do. And it's the least I can do for them is you can ask my mom, every day I'll go in and be like, morning, mom. And always, whenever my dad comes from work, I'll always be like, sup, dad, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. But the least I can do is just show my appreciation through love and being I appreciate everything you've done for me, everything you've sacrificed for me. Have they made mistakes? Of course. But I'm not going to hold that against them. At the end of the day, everybody's people, People make mistakes. Does that define your character? I mean, it can. If you make a big enough mistake, it can define your character forever. But did my parents ever make mistakes that big to the point where I was like, they're too far gone. They're gone in my life. I can never respect them. No, never. And at the end of the day, I always had that thought, especially my mom. Obviously my dad, same thing, but my mom really, she would do anything for any of us kids. And I go, at the end of the day, I just got to appreciate that.
So you unwound that in your own mind just through thought processing and emotional and taking out emotions and figuring out the truth of the situation, because that's what people do through therapy. That's what people do through positive role models or becoming parents themselves and realizing oh my God, my parents were giving to me the absolute best that they thought they could give. In their perception, they were doing the right thing. They were doing what they thought was right, or they didn't think there was repercussions that would outweigh the positives of their actions. You just through thought processing and reevaluating experiences, you sorted your mind out by yourself.